do have it on. I do have it on my board report for this month because I didn't think it got acted on. Probably would have been in the board report.
Yeah, it would have been down there, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Should I just do it again? Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you. Howard thought it was fine. Thanks. How are you? How you doing?
Good evening.
That's funny.
Are you playing?
You know, I played a little bit earlier in the year, and then I've done a couple of games, but nothing regular. Actually, I played Ann Arbor Golf and Outing.
Yeah.
They would play they right across from the stadium there, not the U of M course. They actually played pretty well. It's very short course. Yeah, yeah. They're one or two. Well, but they no, there's only two.
No, that.
One. There's two at that one stadium.
Yeah, the sheriff.
He knows the questions. Yeah. It's funny, my middle
Hello, Wayne. How are you?
Yeah. You guys in the garage.
Oh, they're not? You can't get rid of me. Wonderful. What's everybody here to talk about tonight? What's everybody here to talk about tonight? Okie dokie. That's exciting. You people know how to live.
Yeah, just making sure.
Test, Wayne, test. 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 Wayne, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Wayne? Okay, it's 8:30. We can get our meeting started. Before we do so, can we make sure our agendas that we do have number 5, the auditor contract on them? All right, thank you. Good evening, everyone. If we could all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I can do roll call this evening. Thomas is absent with notice. Otto? Here. Westover absent with notice. Engstrom here. Dockett? Here. Braun? Here. Chick absent with notice. That takes us on to the consent agenda. Wayne, did you have any questions on the minutes and bills?
I just wanted to, I wanted to mention something on the bills.
Do you want me to just pull them down into the regular agenda?
Yeah, but I can tell you in about a minute. If you, I don't need to have it. I just wanted to say.
Just have a question? All right.
825, 15 to 903.15. It costs the township $336,833 to run your township. And from 7/14 to 8/20 cost the people in Northfield Township $406,219. That's it.
Oh, thank you, Wayne. Anything on the minutes? Can you hear me now, Wayne?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and bills as presented.
I'll second.
Engstrom motioned and Otto supported. Those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. On to adopt the balance of the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions from anyone? I'll make a motion to adopt the balance of the agenda.
Support.
Engstrom motioned, Otto supported. Those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. That takes us on to our first call to the public. It's an opportunity for anyone to get up and speak and share your thoughts. We do limit it to 3 minutes, and keep in mind it is not a question and answer session. Do we have any speakers for our first call to the public this evening? Oh, we got to talk speaker? Okay.
Good evening. My name is Susan Schenk. I live at 600 West Joy Road, and I want to let you know that I am against any sewer expansion out of areas that had been previously planned for sewer expansion, and certainly against any kind of sewer expansion down toward the south end of the township where I live. I love where I live. As far as I know, all my neighbors love where they live. The only thing that we don't like about where we live is the terrible, terrible knowledge that our township board is willing to sell out our great neighborhood for somebody else's gain. We love our neighborhood. We love it like it is. Now, we would prefer, or I would prefer, my family would prefer, and a lot of my friends would prefer, if you would put the money and energy that you're trying to put into sewer expansion into farmland protection. We'd like farmland and open space protection, not sewer expansion. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have another speaker?
Udo Hof, 6431 Whitmore Lake Road. I went through the agendas here from the closed meetings, and there was still a call to the public. Do I miss something here, or was this a kind of a mishap? And for both closed meetings was a call to the public, but I think it was a mishap. However, I was wondering about the open, transparent government page of our township and the financial information. I have a question here, and the question is, does the board really has all the legal cost budgeted for the township? It's kind of rare that we don't have an attorney here tonight. Is this attorney attending, is this covered by the budget, Madam Supervisor?
Question or answer session right now.
I did answer you, I didn't ask you a question.
You know the rules, and we are not going through this. If you'd like to talk to anyone, now is not the time, another time. We have Howard in the office every day. No more. I will cut you off.
Okay, you will receive a message from me. Thank you very much. And so I would like to know then, further down the road, how this is being covered, that an attorney is kind of on permanent base here in our township meetings, and this maybe changes the rules, maybe for us as well, to show up also with an attorney. Purchasing lake access property, I think that's another issue also for us constituencies and township, and I don't like to see getting involved in liability insurance, possible lawsuits. What's the gain out of it? I think the township is kind of swinging into a J.P. Morgan speculation situation, and I don't think that is covered by our taxes. Purchasing property by the township, this is kind of sometimes to me a little bit of a conflict of interest. I don't know if there, I will ask this question in writing, Madam Supervisor, so that everybody will be happy about my comments. And sure, the other thing is the township purchased a property on Main Street and is not agreeing to buy the sewer hookup, but I'm forced to buy my sewer hookup, and that is kind of really strange to me. If maybe I will also put this in writing, and I will address this to the board, and I will be very happy if you could maybe answer that question. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have our next speaker?
Good evening. My name is Craig Warburton. I live at 450 West Joy Road. I'm sorry to have not prepared anything. That's always a little dangerous for me, but I'm here because of the presence of the contract that I saw in the packet for a wastewater basin. It wasn't clear from what I saw in the packet how much money the township was really entertaining spending. So I did the math backwards from that vendor's computation of their percentage of the whole, and it looked to me like $3 million for a project that we don't have, for development that's not being requested, which falls right in the same closet with the imaginary requirement to do a survey to see if anybody's mind has changed in 3 years since we wrote a wonderful and comprehensive master plan. We seem to be setting the bar lower and lower. Suddenly the minutes look scant compared to previous minutes, and this township always had wonderful minutes. You could read the minutes and actually get some concept of what took place in a meeting. And as far as I can see, the only reason to skinny that down to the absolute bare bones requirements by law is because you got something to hide. I get told repeatedly by the Planning Commission there's no Biltmore project. There's no Biltmore project. Boy, a lot seems to have changed in the last year and a half for no other reason than you're all preparing for our future. We spent significant amounts of money to buy land in a township that had a 5-acre minimum because we love where we live. And these are not just spots on a map. These are our homesteads. I've spent 20 years building a place I'd like to sometimes, at some point, sell and retire from, but if I get 25 new neighbors along my driveway, that value is going to drop significantly. Somewhere in the power trust, and it seems to emanate from this body as much from the Planning Commission, there seems to be a direction being set that's quite contrary to everything that was discovered and recorded in our comprehensive and wonderful master plan of 3 years ago. The fun thing about email and text is you can't shred them, and they can be retained or requested in FOIA requests, and if we find there's collusion, I don't want to be around because it's going to be ugly. There's some kind of plan afoot. What's going on in this township stinks. It smells very, very bad. The cheese has been in the refrigerator a little too long, ladies and gentlemen. Please stop this foolishness. Don't spend $24,000 on engineering for a basin we don't need today. Wait until you have some need for it. Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak this evening?
Kitty Burkhart, 6187 Noller Road. My family has been in this township since the 1850s. The last 30 years, I've been very involved with this township, and I have to say I am very, very disappointed in the elected officials I see now. You are elected to represent the majority of the people in the township, not special interests. This township has a sewer system. This township has a sewer district. That's what we need to support, not more. This township had a good master plan that was put together with a lot of work from a lot of individuals. This board seems to be very anti-residents, pro-development. That is not what we have worked for the last 30 years and years before that. We have worked to have good relationships with our residents. We have worked to improve our zoning ordinance, to improve our enforcement, to improve our zoning and the master plan. A lot of people put a lot of time and a lot of effort, and I see it going down the stream. It's really, really sad, and it makes me angry that we can't get elected officials to do what the majority of the residents and voters of this township want. Special interests don't live here.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak this evening?
Hello, David Gordon, 5558 Helmer Road. Madam Supervisor, I appreciate that there's members of this board that don't like spending money that we don't need to spend, especially for things that we don't need. Mr. Dockett is always...
Excuse me, I'm having a little problem.
I'm talking as loud as I can, Mr. Dockett.
Okay.
I appreciate you questioning the bills and how things get paid, but I think it's kind of interesting that since Biltmore has walked into this community, we're now approaching the $100,000 mark of what this has cost us. We threw out a $35,000 master plan, which we're doing all over again, according to the Planning Commission, which is going to cost us at least that much again, because we've got a new planner. We lost our old planner. I'd like to know, I know questions don't get answered in the public forum, although I think that is kind of illegitimate. I'd like to know how much more our new planners are going to cost us over our last planners, and why we're bothering if we just throw out the master plan anyway. We allocated $35,000 for an inventory from our engineers. That puts us at $70,000. We've got $17,000 that we've approved for a survey from a company that doesn't even know how to write a survey question, and I think we paid them half that amount already, and we don't have a decent product. And here's another question that I'd like to have answered at some point. We have a number of special assessment districts in our township, Madam Supervisor, and they have been paying into the sewer fund. How much money is there in the sewer fund that's already been donated or contributed from the special assessment districts? That might be some important information that we might be able to get an answer to, because that money is devoted already to the sewer plant. Hopefully it hasn't been spent elsewhere. And lastly, we've got an issue of transparency. I noticed that again we had a front page article in the Courant from our township manager who did not mention Biltmore, did not mention sewer treatment expansion, even though we're looking at a $3 million bill right now. It just doesn't come up. It doesn't mention the new master plan. It just celebrates a new planner without saying, oh, by the way, our old planner quit. Couldn't work with us anymore, which is an embarrassment. And since our township manager was integral in spending his time to make sure that the options between Biltmore and the land speculators in my neighborhood were able to write their contracts, I would like him to address the question of where those contracts are now with Biltmore. What is the status with Biltmore? He's obviously integral to these contracts. Are they still in effect? Is Biltmore still active? These are questions that members of our community would like to have answered in public, Madam Chair. Thank you for paying attention, and especially the eye contact. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have our next speaker?
Good evening. My name is Lenore Zelenak. I live at 1446 Mile. I just, anytime I see any kind of infrastructure expansion, it always raises who's going to take on that debt and who is going to pay for it, and are we going to have sufficient funds to handle it, be it this wastewater treatment plant equalization tank, be it any type of expansion, including roads or that or such. Who pays for it? And be careful about taking on debt that we may not be able to pay for. Thank you.
Yeah, we do. Do we have another speaker for this evening? All right, let's get on with our regular part of the rest of our meeting. Our department head reports. We're going to be limited this evening. We thought we would just see if anyone had any questions for our department heads that are here.
What are we on?
Department head reports.
Who's up?
We're just going to do questions for them if you have any.
Department heads?
Yes.
Yeah, are we voted on anything?
No, they're.
I can hear you.
Okay. We're just going to ask them any questions that we might have versus going over the entire report. And there are some action issues.
Yeah.
Okay?
And what's first, the police department?
Sure, we can do police department first.
Well, I would like to say I did not.
How's that, Wayne?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did not get the police department report. Oh, that's Wagner's.
No, you should have gotten the police department one, right? The fire department one I hand delivered to you Friday morning.
Yeah, I didn't get this one. I didn't get the police department till today. And
It should have been in your board packet, right?
in our board packet.
well, it says here that it says date September 6th. So that's what it says on this.
Wayne, do you have this one?
Yeah. Somewhere. Yeah. Yeah. I have nothing on the regular police department until we get ready to vote on this.
Yeah, we do have some action items, and Ms. Otto has a motion prepared.
Yeah, the one action item is the Drug Enforcement Task Force Agreement Renewal, and I make the motion that the board approves the provision for the state and local task force agreement between the Drug Enforcement Administration and Northfield Township Police Department.
I will second. Otto motioned, Engstrom supported. Any discussion?
Yes. On the drug enforcement, I have a question. It says in here that this is for a period of not less than 2 years.
Yeah, it has to be renewed every year. We bring this, that question comes up every year.
Well, why does it say it's for 2 years?
I think it was because the original agreement was for 2 years.
Oh, okay. Well, but it does say the contract. We have to go according to what the contract says, don't we?
Yeah, so you know what, I'm going to amend that to read annual. So if we can change that to read the Drug Enforcement Task Force Annual Agreement Renewal.
I have another comment on that. It says that this officer has brought into the township $1,124,000.
We're on the motion for this.
Yes, he's commenting on what the DEA program has brought into the township between the.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I think this is a valid question.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know where you were heading.
Okay. Well, it says that they brought in $1,124,633. Now, that's in 6 years. I would like to know what it cost us for this officer for the last 6 years. You know, we got wages and benefits, cars, gas, insurance, retirement. If we have all these other figures here, it seems to me that it would be pretty simple to find out what we spent on this officer. And then, of course, this money that comes back can't be spent for his wages or his car or his gas and his retirement and his insurance. So, I mean, this looks like a lot of money here, $1,124,000, but when you figure that we paid the guy for 6 years and paid all his benefits for 6 years, I would like to see them figures. And why wouldn't we have them? It must be in the bookkeeping somewhere.
We can get that for you, but let me just real quick make a correction that some of those items that you just mentioned are reimbursable through the forfeitures.
No, it says
His overtime is reimbursable.
his overtime is, but we pay all his benefits.
His vehicle.
And we buy him a car.
Yeah.
And we pay, and he's got a gas card.
Well, but the forfeiture money pays for the car.
Well, still, I'd like to know.
I don't disagree with you.
How much does this cost us every year? It looks good to say that he brought in $1,124,000, but you know, for 5 years, if it's $100,000 a year, that's $500,000 right there. You know. So
I'll get you what it cost him per year.
Excuse me?
I will get you what it cost his annual.
I think you must have that. So I think that's interesting to know that. And and I still don't understand the contract when it says in here it's 2 years and then you say no.
Well,
It's only for
number 7 says it is effective from this date until September 30th, 2016.
Well, it doesn't say that. It says October 15th, I think. October of 15, I think, or September. I know what it says there, but I'm talking about here.
Yeah, you're talking about one a day difference there.
Huh?
Number 7 clearly says that the contract is good through September 30th of 2016.
Well, that's 1 year.
So it starts October 1st of this year and goes through September 30th of next year.
Yeah, it's 1 year.
Right.
But the contract doesn't say that. So, anyway, well, it says it there, but when you look at it here, it says it's for 2 years.
That's the actual contract.
Okay. Well,
All right, we have a motion on the table. Any further discussion?
roll call vote.
All right, roll call vote. I'll start with Otto.
Yes.
Engstrom, yes. Dockett.
No.
Braun. Thank you.
Okay, the next item, action item is hiring of the salvaged inspector. I make the motion that the board of trustees approve the appointment of Geno Okay. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Gino, okay.
Gino Okay, as the limited enforcement officer to conduct the salvage vehicle inspections for the police department.
And if you could add contingent on the approval of the contract by the attorney.
Okay.
We had to make a change in that today.
Okay.
Our insurance company requested.
All right, and it's a contingent upon approval of the contract?
Otto motioned and Braun supported. Any discussion?
Yes, I didn't get this contract until today, this morning. I'd like to have some time to look it over and have some questions.
It should have been in the board packet.
Well, maybe it should have been, but I didn't get it till this morning.
Well,
It says September 6th on this paper, so that,
It was all part of the portion that you said you didn't get until today,
No.
but everybody else got it in their packet.
no, I came and picked up my packet. The packet wasn't ready
Right.
until Friday, sir. The packet was not
I
ready.
picked it up over the weekend, and it's in my packet.
I picked up my packet.
Right?
This was not in my packet. And I don't know if it was in other people's packet or not.
I did receive it, Jackie, it sounds like you did too, and Kathy, but Wayne did not, obviously, and would like time to review it. Do we want to table this for Wayne to give it some review? And we could make it, that we could vote on it in 2 weeks at our workshop, we'll make an exception for that?
Yeah, that's fine.
I guess that's up to the board.
Wayne, I'll let you make the call.
Well, okay, this is what I got. I would like the Northfield Township Board, or why would the Northfield Township Board appoint a private individual to operate a for-profit business in Northfield Township Police Department? Mr. Oakley will collect 80% of all the profits. The Northfield Township Police Department will collect the other 20%. The taxpayers of Northfield Township will be paying for all the paperwork and all the other stuff. So I have a lot of questions here on this. Plus, Mr. Oakley has employees, contractors, agents, and other agreements here. He's only got $10,000 worth of hospitalization insurance. Or I got a lot of questions I want to ask about this.
The comment I'm going to make is that this has been on our workshop agenda for quite a while. The contract has been on there, and you've raised the same questions each time.
No.
Yeah, we've had this the same
Yes,
discussion.
and I said they were gonna pay him with a one way, and I said, no, we need a 1099 on this guy. I made I asked a lot of questions before, and they were answered. This is different.
Well,
This has
we
been
have a
modified.
motion on the table. I'm going to keep it as is. If you guys want to turn it down, you turn it down, but I'm leaving the motion.
All right, any further discussion? Wayne, would you like a roll call vote?
No, I'm leaving.
Okay. With Mr. Dockett leaving, that does not leave us a quorum this evening. Shall we end the,
If Mr. Dockett leaves, we have to adjourn the meeting.
Yep.
okay, we no longer have, what?
You can, I believe you could have call to the public, a second call to the public. You could, I think you can do that because we're not conducting business. If there's anybody that wanted to speak that wasn't able to speak in the first part of the meeting, you're not conducting any business. That's my best legal advice without an attorney. Sure. Sure.
Yep.
So, Mr. Dockett excused himself from our meeting, and we no longer have a quorum, so by law, our meeting does have to end at this time. We do have some people in our audience, and I'm not sure if everyone got an opportunity to speak on call to the public. So if there's any new speakers that would like to come up before we adjourn the meeting, you're welcome to.
Madam Chair, I'm gonna call
Yes.
Tracy and see if he's still on his way.
I think I have a text from him. Before we get started, let's wait just a moment, okay? All right, so I'm sorry, but we are going to have to adjourn the meeting for this evening, and hopefully we can get to the rest of our business 2 weeks from now. Thank you, everyone. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.